turns out that we were the third family of missing people that this had happened to, where these people are going online trying to like prey on vulnerable people in vulnerable states.
Welcome to another episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I'm talking to Jennifer Whiting. Her baby's father went missing on November 5th of 2021, and she's here to talk about Brandon Richard. And we're going to talk about the disappearance of your kid's father and try to see what the people think of this whole situation.
Right.
So, where are you guys from? What state are you from? And what year did you meet Brandon?
So we're from Minnesota, Blaine, Minnesota, right outside Minneapolis. Um, and I met Brandon when I was like 7 years old. I can't even tell you the year that was.
Yeah.
But yeah, around 7 or 8 years old. I've known him since.
So you guys been kids growing up since
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, we were
So
friends for a long time before we
so
got
you got
together.
you guys went to school in and out. He had girlfriends throughout the time. How old were you when you guys connected and started a relationship?
So Brandon was 5 years older than me, but we were always around the same group of people. But I was like 21, I would say, when we actually like started dating.
And how much older is he older than you?
Yeah, he's about 5 years older than me, and I met
Okay.
him through my brother. He was like one of my brother's friends, actually.
So now are does he just have kids with you? Or
No,
does he
he
have
also
kids with anyone
has
else?
two children with another girl or whatever, but they were adopted. So
So did he have kids with her first?
no, with me.
All right. So if you can, you could break down the whole situation on how when you guys met, you had kids, and then like what transpires after that. He meets another girl, like
So pretty much, I don't know how to really say it. We kind of outgrew each other and kind of went just separate ways, but still remained, in contact and
how
things like
long did you
that
guys have a relationship for? Like
for
you
like
know,
9 years.
okay.
Yeah. So we were together for a while and we were friends. So, like I said, for like 17 years prior to that. So I've known him for like a total of around 30 years.
So after you guys part ways, was it amicable?
I mean, it was more so like instigated by me, I would say, because, like I said, we just were not giving like, I was not getting what I needed and vice versa. So, there was a little rough patch there where it was kind of a little bit like, I don't know, probably I would say the roughest when I moved on and he was still not quite to that.
Yeah.
Like,
So then when did he meet this other person who came in,
probably
the other woman?
probably I would say like maybe 3 years after we separated, he started hanging out with her. And I
And
didn't
then
even know her at that time, but I guess she also had went to the same school and was from the same area as us, and I had no clue until he started dating her.
so then he gets her pregnant, has kids with her, right?
Yeah, then he had two children with her, but it was always very like rough for them. They were never like, I don't know, very stable enough, I guess, to have kids. So that's why they um, had to do the adoption option.
So I'm going to show some of these pictures. So that's him and your kids, right?
Yeah, that was at Olivia's birthday, the littler one. That's from the BCA. They put that out to kind of help spread the word for him after I got like that terror, like that ransom message or whatever, they stepped in and put that out. But it was confusing to some people because, I mean, it kind of looks like a mugshot almost in that one picture. Yeah.
How much longer is he involved with drugs and like what's their situation on that? Is he an addict? Is he like hanging around with those kind of people?
So I would never, like, he definitely did use certain drugs. I mean, marijuana, I know, used that would help him. And then he did use meth in the past, but he was trying to like stabilize his life for quite a while now. But he had gotten put into this program where it's like a stepping stone program where it helps you like rebuild your life and things like that. But yeah, there
Mhm.
definitely was some intermittent like drug use. When we were together, he never used drugs at all. He would
Yeah.
occasionally drink and occasionally, he would smoke pot, but that, was the extent of it.
So now he's still the kids get taken away from this other woman he has kids with, right? So
Yeah, and
he's
I'm not
still
sure if they Yeah, I'm not sure if like like how each situation, because there's two of them, if they like gave up or like if it was their choice or not. I don't really know the specifics about that, but yeah, definitely I think the second one was not so much by choice.
so how much longer after he gave up or after the kids did he go missing?
He actually went missing on um the littlest daughter with the other woman. It was her second birthday on November 5th. And so, yeah, so it
When
would
was
be
the la-
2 years.
when was the last time that you seen him?
It was like October like 21st, I believe. Yeah, October 21st.
And what was he like? What was his demeanor last time you seen him?
He was sick actually with COVID. Um, and so he seemed like run down a little bit and just, I don't know, he was sad. But then the very next day is when he got accepted into that program. And so then think from that time on, he had been calling and, saying different things he was working on, what jobs he applied for. He was like
So
trying to maintain.
you seen him on that date. So when's the last time you talked to him?
Gosh, probably it was right around Halloween, because he had was called to tell me about some parade that was going on not far away.
Hmm.
And he was down there or whatever, and he wanted me to know that about the kids. So yeah, I would say like a couple of days before Halloween.
So what is the situation that you heard? Like, so you get a phone call. What's the situation that you hear about
So
all this? How did you find out he was missing? Like, what was the whole? How did it transpire?
we first found out, or that there was like a little word around the, let's see here, that would have been the 15th of November. I got a text message from his mom asking if I had talked to him, because she hadn't talked to him in a few days. And I said no, it had been like a couple of weeks at that point. And so then she said, okay, well, then the very next day on November 16th, it was my youngest daughter's birthday and our daughter together, I guess. And it was her eighth birthday. And I had mentioned to my sister about that. So she had put up a Facebook message just saying, if anybody has spoken to Brandon Richard, please let us know. We're looking for him. And then I reached out to his girlfriend and I said, because I don't know, I guess I'm not her favorite person in the world. But I reached out to her and said, look, setting everything aside, you really haven't seen him in 9 or 10 days. And she didn't respond very kindly, but um, she said pretty much no, she hadn't, which is kind of strange to me because I don't think they'd ever gone that long not talking, or seeing each
The
other.
last thing you knew is that he was with her, right?
Right, right. The last thing I knew about him was on November 3rd. His mom had messaged me saying that he was hit by a car outside of the program of where he was staying because there's a college right by there. And
Mhm.
so she had said he had gotten hit by a car and his phone was broken, and that he was okay, but he wanted to like settle outside of like insurance and stuff to help this kid out.
Yeah.
And that's the last that we heard until the 15th of November.
He got hit by a car sometime
Mhm.
in between him not him missing and you seeing him. He got hit by a car and the person was going to settle with him outside of court and give him some money. Do you know how much
Right.
money the guy was going to give him?
Well, I guess it was going to be a total of 4,000, but I'm not 100% on how much he was really given. I
Has
mean, there's
anybody
speculation.
talked to the person that hit him with the car?
Yeah, yeah, a couple of people have talked to him. His mom and I actually had a conversation with him ourselves, and it was a younger kid, and everything kind of seemed, he answered all of our questions and things like that.
Did he give him any money?
Yeah, I mean, he did say he gave him $1,000. Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like you can't really, I don't know, this situation is just so crazy that, it keeps,
Do
things
you
are
think
changing.
it's possible that somebody could have done something to him for the money that he was going to get from?
I definitely know that something was done to him. I mean, he would never do this, leave on his own. He never has before. That was one of his biggest fears and things he was working on, actually, is being alone and not, like, being okay with it, I guess.
And if people don't know, this is the phone number. If you have information, and the case number is 212-60925. The phone number is 763-427-1212. And so he's staying with this girl in a tent, right? He gets hit by a car. Their kids are taken. They've been taken. They're staying in a tent to like get by. They don't have anywhere else to go. And
Well, well, Brandon, like I said, he was staying in that program, so he actually could had the option to stay there because they provide housing and things like that.
but he
But his
didn't. He just
girlfriend,
stayed with her in the tent
and
because she was there.
yeah, and he didn't want to like get kicked out because I don't know, she isn't a very like subtle person that blends in very well, I guess you
So
could say.
yeah, did you reach out to her? We were gonna try to see if she would come on here. Did you reach out to her about that?
So I sent her a message. I haven't heard anything back yet.
So the kid supposedly, allegedly gave him $1,000, and then from there he just goes missing. And what was this girl's story to you when you
Well,
asked her about him and where he went? What was her story to you?
so the first time I had actually seen her after trying to reach out initially, we had a search party for him on the 27th of November. Um, so we were search and rescue came and they had cadaver dogs and drones and everything like that, around the same area where he was last seen, which was in Coon Rapids, Minnesota. So when I first saw her at the search party, I just waited for her to come up to me because I didn't want, to make anybody uncomfortable since I was the one pretty much like running the search party. And she told me that that day they had woken up late and Brandon was going to go walk to the McDonald's and meet this kid that hit him and get some of the money. And that he called her from the McDonald's phone because his phone also had gotten broken when he got hit 2 days earlier.
Mm.
And that the kid wasn't there. Well, his current girlfriend said, well, let me message him because her phone, she had her phone or whatever and his number. So they ended up finding each other, long story short. And then supposedly that's the last time she had ever seen him. Well, the kid had told us that when he went to the McDonald's to meet Brandon, that he gave him the money and he felt bad because he didn't have the full amount that they agreed on. And so then that's why he had given him a ride to Spring Lake Park and dropped him off. Just like I guess in a neighborhood.
Oh,
And
was he so basically was that kid the last person to see him?
yeah, him as well as his current girlfriend were the last two people to see him.
So this case has a lot of different turns, and I hope that he gets found. I hope there's a solution to this, and I hope it's a good one. I mean,
You know,
all you can really do is speculate. I mean, what goes through your mind not knowing like what happened?
oh my gosh, it's like it's just been a literally a whirlwind of emotions. Like I'm to the point where it's like I almost feel like I'm like in a survival mode of like numbness. I try not to break down because I don't know for my kids and stuff like that, but I just feel it just depends. I go from sad to angry, confused, like every single thing you could possibly think of other than excited or happy. That's what I feel. It feels like a constant nightmare, and you never think that something like this will ever happen. It doesn't run through people's minds. It never ran through mine. And I don't know, it's just so overwhelming.
Yeah, until it happens to you, and then you're the one that's looking for your family member, and that's why I'm willing to do whatever I can to try to get the word out there because if it was me,
Mm.
I would want people to help me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the one positive thing out of this is it has shown me that there is a lot of genuine people still out there. At the
Yeah.
same time, we're always going to have critics in every situation, especially ones we don't understand, which a lot of people don't understand. Like for example, things like doing a benefit to raise money to raise the reward for information, because like
Mhm.
as we all money is like a motivator to people,
Money is, yeah.
and
Do you
may
want to talk about the people that called you with that
oh
yeah.
the
So
what
a lot of people deal with this type of thing, and this is not an isolated incident. I know a lot of people who have missing family members and are dealing with this type of situation. They have this similar situation happen to them, and it's really unfortunate that people take advantage of people that are going through this type of thing. Now, do you want to tell them what transpired while you're looking for your missing kid's father?
yeah, so it was the night before Thanksgiving and I just finally sat down and I was um laying with my younger daughter, and all of a sudden I just looked at my phone one more time, and the message read something like, I told you that I have Brandon, and you did not take me seriously or believe me. He is now sick and he wants to talk to his family, and we will not release him without $7,000 ransom. And then it said, do not make me make your day worse by killing him.
So, did the police find out who was sending this type of stuff?
So I called the investigator because it was like 11 o'clock at night at this point. And I was just like, I went into a complete panic attack because I just was like uncontrollable. But I had immediately called the police because I wasn't going to respond and let them know that I had seen the message because I didn't know at that point. Never in my mind did it cross that this is a joke. Kind of in
Yeah.
my mind, it was like, it was really weird because after the initial shock, I was like, part of me was like, thank God we may have a solution to this. But on the other hand, I'm like, oh my God, like this is like up, like I need to do something and make call the police because his life could be in danger. So I was like, so it was just crazy. But pretty much I called the police. The investigator was taken out of bed, and then the BCA got involved, and it was like an entire night deal. And it turns out that we were the third family of missing people that this had happened to, where these people are going online trying to like prey on vulnerable people in vulnerable states.
That's
So
terrible. People
yeah,
like
it was,
that, they need to be dragged out to the back of the barn. Like for
I
real.
know.
That's like so disrespectful. It's insane. I don't understand people. I will never understand. That after they you got this threat about the ransom, they did another thing, right? They had another search around that time.
Well, we had the search then like a couple of days later. After that is when we had the big search that we had prior to it snowing. Um, and we searched the areas that we knew he was last seen around, which also ends up being like right by the Mississippi River. So that always goes through my mind too. That, but we want to have another one, but we don't have. I don't know. There's now we have some like areas of interest to search, but
Hmm.
it's really tough to do that in the weather that we have right now.
What else has transpired since the search?
Well, the police are doing their best to gather information and things like that. One really big thing that, I mean, I guess happened too after the search. His girlfriend was in a very severe accident and she was put into a coma for I'm not sure how many days, but quite a few days. And then she had several injuries from the car accident. So, she was with him the most prior to his disappearance. So, it was kind of, I don't know, I guess put a halt to some of the things that maybe she could share as far as information. But yeah, so it's just, gathering of all of the trying to piece together any little thing that we can as far as his whereabouts prior to this happening, what exactly is happening. The other like kind of hard thing for the police is when you don't have any evidence, then you don't know that a crime's been committed, and it's not a crime to go missing as an adult. So they're just having a lot of trouble too. They can't force somebody to talk to them. So if somebody
Yeah.
refuses to without any evidence, then they can't force them to.
Did he
Um,
have a phone? What about his phone records? Did they check his phone that he had at the time?
um, so they do have, I believe, are trying to do that, I guess. Um, there was a few different phones he had throughout this past year of numbers. So of
Yeah.
course we gave everything that we have. I know that they are making progress, but since it's an open investigation, they can't even they have to use like a universal precaution type of
Yeah.
deal where tell us even anything. And um, we're not the only case of theirs, which we know that they're working on. So they probably have to split their time
Why
evenly, I'm guessing.
is there a lot of cases up there of missing people in Minnesota?
Well, it's not missing people so much, but like anything that happens. So, like, if there is a shooting or there is something that they need to investigate, that they all kind of get lumped together, is what my understanding is. Like, so anything that these investigators would need to be working on would kind of all fall into that same
Yeah.
category as Brandon being missing. We're just keeping, like, trying to keep spreading the word so he's not forgotten about, because that can happen, I feel like, in just like everybody's busy lives, where they don't keep seeing something, then it might go to the back of their minds, and that's what we're trying to really work hard to just like, I don't know, at this point, it's like, obviously, I think of any situation, even the most craziest of situations, where it could end with him being alive. Um, but I mean, regardless, you can't even move on. Like, you can't have any closure in any way. And another thing that I just found out was somebody needs to be missing for 7 years to legally be declared like deceased. And I don't know, it's not that I want that to happen now. I feel it's way too soon to like chalk it up to that. But at the same time, I just think 7 years, like, I can't imagine going through this for 7 years.
There's a lot of people who go through the same thing and you're not alone,
Yeah,
And
I have really like become a part of some of these groups. And it's just insane to know how uninformed that I was and how often this does happen to people, just because it doesn't happen to like anybody we know or in our area or
yeah, until
anything
it's
like that.
you, until it is you and it's your family you're looking for. And then
Oh my, but yeah, after this, like, I just can't wait for this to be over so I can kind of assist some, help people too, especially, that have helped me or have gone through this situation. There's
yeah.
so The biggest thing I've learned through this is there's not a ton of advocacy or like direction for families, to have somebody be like, okay, these are some of the things you should do. These are some of the things you shouldn't do. The police cannot tell you what to or not to do in any situation, because then that could be like altering the case in some way.
Maybe you
So
could be an
just
advocate for missing person cases and somebody for them to go to and learn the information that they need to know.
exactly, and that's what I do want to do for sure, because that's just been so hard. And then you get all of this like criticism from some people, not understanding. Like, I did get this one message, just, and this, it was done respectfully.
So I got the phone number here. If anyone has any information, we're gonna share this video. Make sure you guys share this video if you have any information about Brandon's disappearance. The phone number is 763-427-1212, and the case number is 212-60925. And his
And
name is
then also
Brandon. How do you say his last name again?
Rich Art. Rich Art.
Rich Art. Brandon Rich
Yes.
Art.
And then also they can go to Crime Stoppers Minnesota for any anonymous tips if that's preferred. Um, there is a reward right now of $5,000 for any information. We are doing a benefit to try to raise that amount in hopes that maybe somebody will come forward and do the right thing, because that's a couple things we do know, is that he would never do this and leave on his own. And we do know that somebody somewhere knows something, that I'm absolutely sure of.
Well, I pray that there's a safe return and a safe resolution to this case. And I'm sorry you have to deal with this really messed up situation. And
Thank you. And
I hope
there's
the
so much
outcome is
more to
good.
talk about right now, because it is an open investigation. But I just pray for the day that we can do a follow up and I can really share everything, because it does get so much. There is just so much, like, things that do not add up in this whole situation. But I do want people to know, like, if you're watching this and you did something, like, it is, our technology has never been better, and we do have people that, things are not adding up with. So just know that we'll figure it out.
Yeah, if you did this, you're gonna get caught, man. And if you have any involvement, you have any information, just call the authorities so these kids can have some closure.
And if you do know something and you're afraid or whatever it is, I mean, think about it for no other reason. Think that maybe this could be your opportunity to make some sort of deal, because once we put all of the pieces together, there will be no deals then for you.
Yeah. Well, I really hope I wish you the best in this whole situation, and I'll do whatever I can. I'll share this video, I'll get it out there to as many people as I can, and I really wish you the best and your kids in this situation.
Thank you. Are you able to play some of those messages that
Yeah.
were um done, either some of, like, the family and friends closest to Brandon that they didn't necessarily want to come on, but they
Hmm.
did want to share some messages about just what their feelings are. Either um they're either to Brandon, to the people out there, or just thanking the people that have supported us, because that seriously does is keeping us going, is everybody that's being here, sharing, keeping the word, being so kind, and we appreciate it more than you'll ever know.
Yeah. Any videos or any pictures or anything, I can integrate it into this video and then put it out there and see what happens, you know?
Yeah, gosh, this is so, I'm so grateful for this.
Can just do what we can do and hope for the best. Now, again, if you
Exactly.
have information, call this phone
And
number. Go ahead.
on that last picture you did show, that one of him wearing the jersey was what he was seen last wearing. Not that one. It was like that one right there, that red jersey. It's like a hockey, I believe, one.
Yeah.
That was him at the McDonald's when he used the phone and he was waiting for the kid. That's the very last picture that we have of him alive,
Wow.
or that we know where he was.
So anyone with information, he's 41 years old. Brandon Richard, 41 years old, white male, 5'11", 180 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. It's terrible you have to deal with this. And then have to you have the kids you got to explain this to. He has 4 kids, doesn't he?
Yeah, 4 girls, and um they all, like, the other two still live in the area. One actually lives with the grandma of his girlfriend, and then the other was adopted by a family, and they all live still in the area as well. He's got 4 daughters. He, has a lot more life to live, and he does want to come back.
Well, I'm hoping the best result in the end. And thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. Is there anyone
Thank you
else you want
so.
to give a shout out to before we go?
No, I just really want somebody to come forward. That's just what I want so much. But I do want to thank just everybody that's been there, supported us, shared this story, said any kind words. And I just want to stress how grateful, and we are for those people and everybody out there.
Thank you so much. And just keep your head up, Jen. Eventually
Yeah,
things will come together, and I'm sure what's done in the dark always comes to the light, you know?
exactly. And that's what I truly believe too. And I know it will happen. It's just a matter of when. And I do also believe the hardest things happen to the strongest people. And that happens because then you're supposed to help the people that need it.
Definitely.
Totally.
Thank you. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Until next time. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.